Republican U.S. House Speaker Mike Johnson visited an ICE field office in the Loop this morning.
Courtney Spinelli was one of two reporters in attendance, joining us now with details on his tour. Why is he here? What did he have to say?
Well, Pat and Lourdes, Johnson didn't hold back on blaming the Biden-Harris administration to start for everything unfolding as ICE agents now carry out immigration crackdowns across the U.S. and here in Chicago, as the administration touts what they allege is 0 people released into the U.S. last month, compared to more than 60,000 at the same time last year. They say they're also making it clear their deportation efforts are not slowing down. Now, Johnson's visit to the Chicago field office included a tour and a roundtable discussion with ICE officers, leaders, and staff. We were not able to follow the group during the tour or during those discussions, but Johnson says he saw holding facilities he described as outdated and heard claims of quote, retaliation and violence against ICE agents making arrests. Now, this visit comes on the heels of recent protests and backlash following ICE raids and deportations, including at Immigration Supervision Program check-ins in Chicago and Broadview. Many activists claiming those were illegal arrests without cause, while ICE leadership in Chicago says those detained had final orders of removal signed by a judge. It's likely things are not slowing down, with the president promising to expand immigration crackdowns in Democrat-led cities, including Chicago.
Any elected official, it doesn't matter what party you're in, you should be in favor of the people who are upholding the law and trying to keep our communities safe. And the idea that the mayor here would say the crazy things that he has said about ICE, he's got it completely upside down. He is applauding and supporting dangerous criminals instead of the people who are trying to keep our citizens safe.
Speaker Johnson also spoke heavily on Trump's proposed budget reconciliation bill, or the One Big Beautiful Bill. This mega bill would add $150 billion for border resources and law enforcement personnel. While the administration holds firm its priority is going after violent criminals, it also admits it's not holding back on people who are in the U.S. illegally, even if they have no criminal record or they're not accused of a crime. So you just heard there the House Speaker point blame at Chicago's mayor, specifically on that same front. Yesterday, Mayor Brandon Johnson said they are in favor of ensuring people who are committing crimes and are undocumented, or committing crimes and may be documented, are being held accountable.
Do you know how many people have been arrested and deported here in Chicago under this Trump initiative?
I think that's a big question that we've really been trying to get to the bottom of. When we asked DHS and ICE, that data hasn't been released yet. So we don't really have a specific idea of the scope of it, how many people have been swept up beyond these big, operations that we've seen happening downtown and in Broadview. We do know that across the nation, the Trump administration says now that they've had more than 100,000 arrests and deportations under the Trump administration. But as far as Chicago goes, it's still really no clear idea of the scope of it at this point.
And as far as the data portals that would have that information, it's nowhere to be found. So
no, and there's some year-end data typically shared by DHS, but on this specific front of recent raids and deportations, nothing that we know at this point.
Okay. Courtney Spinelli, thank you. Great reporting. We appreciate you.